How you doing? You alright? Gonna be back to front now, but I've taken a bit of a change because why have I taken a bit of a change? I've taken a bit of a change because I've just finished my 8th tornado, which turned out absolutely spot on. Whitetail, the RAF Bruggen 1989 RAF Tornado, and I've painted that with MRP paints, and it's turned out absolutely lush. However, that's not why we're here. That's on another video. So I've changed it up a little bit, and I've gone for a Eurofighter. I've built 2 of these in past. I've gone for that one, but not to do it in that scheme. I ordered some tornadoes off a lovely fella in Scotland, and I got them for lads down at club, and while we're on it, so I buy 10, and then he says to me day after, I've got some decals now because I'm not building 1 in 48s, I'm building sort of like 1 in 32s. Do you want some 1 in 48 decals? So I'm right, what have you got? So he sends me pictures, and I'm like, oh mate, you're doing me head in, because you know I love them. So he's sent me these. Look, cool, aren't they? 41 squadron, I think they are, but specifically for a Eurofighter. And I think, you know, maybe it's time I had a little bit of a change. All right, look at me body language, I'm shaking my head. Send it to them blokes on Discovery Plus. It's time I had a change. There's a sign. I have done 2 of these in past. I've done a Splinter Camo one, which I made up when I very first started modelling back 5 years since. And then I did a grey version, and I've got to be absolutely honest, they didn't turn out right at all. When I look back, you know, I thought they were cool, I thought they were great, but I was sort of paintbrushing them, and you can imagine, can't you, getting little squares of masking tape for a splinter, because I didn't have a decal, and sort of laying little bits of masking tape down, little squares, literally geonomic, is that the right word, squares, geometric squares of masking tape, and putting them on painstakingly by hand, and then paintbrushing all those little squares. I mean, what were I thinking? Anyway, tornadoes, I've got one under bench. It's a Hobby Boss 1 in 48 picture, but I'm just gonna have a rest, okay, from doing that. I'm going to sort of mix it up a little bit, which is not like me. I've got me call out, and I've got my sprues here in my sprue guide, in my sprue holder. So I'm just going to flick through. As I'm flicking through, you know how I do videos. It's on my phone, so I haven't got no sort of different camera angles and zooming in functions. It's just what you see. So what I have to do is I have to put pictures up here so that you can see. So as I'm talking through, I'll pop them up for you. If you've got this kit, and you've built it, and there's any fit issues, I need to know. If you're that way out, right? Okay, Mark, what's for step 29? Do you know what I mean, or whatever? It don't fit, it don't work, it's square, it should be round, da-di-da-di-da. Drop a comment in comments box below. Otherwise, I'm going into it blind, aren't I? So, Revell level 5, which means that there's loads of parts. Eurofighter, Typhoon, Baron Spirit, not doing it, remember. Okay, page 1 and 2 then. 1 and 2 and 3 is just all your normal clear parts, glue this, don't glue that, add nose weight, etc, etc. Then you go on to page 5, which is colour call out, and typical of Revell, you need to mix sort of 2, 3, 4 colours just to make one, but I will get round that. I think I am going to, I have fallen head over heels for this MRP paint. I keep saying to everybody that I talk to, it's like water. It is so thin, it is unbelievable. So much so that on the tornado that I've just done, you know, I'm sort of based it in black and then mottled over it, and even after one coat, the colour would not adhere. Well, what's point in that? Well, actually, it works. It's because it's so thin, every single little bit of detail that you put underneath shows through. I did the pinky in MRP, and I've just done another tornado in MRP. Okay, so I'm gonna have to order them, you see. So let's have a look. So Sprue guide. So your Sprue guide telling you where your parts are. Now I did notice that on the sprues, on a Revell kit, you normally get your sprue and then on a tab on inside it'll say A, B, C and so on and so on. On this one it hasn't. I have actually marked them up. You can see there, I have marked them up, but I've had to look at the sprue guide to marry up to, you know what I mean. Alright, so without further ado, where are we starting? We're starting in office receipts. Don't forget, I'm going to put them up here. We're starting in office receipts number 1. And number 2, putting it back on, putting your little pull handle on. And then you can paint all that. Number 3, put your seat into the tub, which you've already painted. Then your instrument panel, which has got a tiny little decal on for it. Not sure about that. I have had a look at that decal. It's basically a tiny little thing with 3 black squares on it. I mean, I suppose. Section 5 and 6 then is, let's have a look, it's adding canards onto the front end. You've got to put them on now because there's a little grommet that goes on inside. Okay, I don't know whether I'm going to do that or not. I suppose, well, I'll see to it when I get there, but really, ideally, I'd want to put a bar all the way through and drill the hole out in the canard, but I'll have to wait and see. Stage 7 is adding 30 grams of weight in your cockpit, and there's a little bit underneath as well. It's sort of like a funny little brace shape. Section 8 is main undercarriage housing. Stage 9 is intakes, top and bottom. And they do look pretty okay, does them. Stage 10, I'm happy with stage 10 because the whole bottom section of the wing is complete. It's all the fuselage. It's all the fuselage in the bottom of the wing, and the detail is good as well. And then you just sit your wings on top. We're not there yet. Stage 11 is putting your undercarriage housing in and your air intake. Stage 12, nose cone and a few little bits and bats. No drama there. There's a bit of a call out for painting at that stage. Stage 13, now then what we got here on stage 13? Stage 13, that bit there in the circle, it says B. It must be it must be painting. Well, you would anyway, wouldn't you? And then putting lower half of your wing and fuselage on. Stage 14, adding top of your wings, put some sellotape on that. Sellotape, grandad. 15 is, let's have a look. They're not pylons, they do go under the wings. I'm not sure what they call them. I know that the Hawk has them on. They're like, I think they sort of like have something to do with the aerodynamics of the aircraft. They make it stable. 16 is attaching those. 17 is again air intake. 18 and 19, I'll pop them up together. We've got, I think there's some kind of, are they recce pods? I'm not sure. I'm not absolutely sure. Okay, but they go on side at wings on either side. Make sure you get them in the right way. 20 is adding your spine onto the top and your electronics housing at the back of the cockpit. 21 cans, looks simple enough. Bit too simple to be fair, and it's giving you an option there of closed exhaust at full burn or open when it's idle and when it's just not, just floating when it's floating. 22 is wheels. 23 is undercarriage. 24 is, let me just have a look here. 24. Oh, it must be the, yeah, it is. 24 is your undercarriage door, and you can have that in open or closed position. 25 is attaching it and your front undercarriage. 26 wheels, 27 undercarriage, 28 undercarriage. It doesn't look that difficult, to be honest. I just hope that they're into a load of sort of flash and excess parts on that. 29 is doors. 30, 31, 32 is doors. So 30 wheels, doors, 31 doors closed, and 32 is the same, but it's the opposite side. 33, couple of little, they're not chaff dispensers, I don't think, but cans is mainly what it is going in. 34 is air brake, which is, it's like the Eagle one, it's the big door on the back, on the spine. Excuse me. Now, I have seen videos of that in past, and it's such a shocking fit that you have to literally butcher all that out. But again, because I'm going now, then I haven't said, I'm going to tap on my mate down at Club, Dave Housecroft, because he's just done an F4 in flight with 2 acrylic tubes coming out onto a stand, and there's certain aircraft that look really good on the ground, and there's certain aircraft that look just so much better, in my opinion, when they're up in air. And for me, this is one that looks better up in air, so I'm toying with idea. I'm not 100% yet, but I do fancy that. Typhoon, up in air, banking. Nice. 35 then, let's jump on to 35. That is fitting your canopy. Now, I've had a look at canopy on this, and there's a seam on it. It's really, really thick as well. It's thick as anything. 36 refueling probe and a fuel bits. Same for 37. 38 antenna underneath. 39, 40, 41 is pylons underneath. Different pylons systems on these, because in this particular kit you do get a German version and you do get an RAF version. We'll get to that in a minute. 42, again, adding those on. 43, those pods on end at wings, and they do complete this sort of wing look. They do make that look complete, in my opinion. So 44,000 pound fuel tanks, and 45 is attaching those. 46 now. Before you actually build this kit, obviously a lot of people will buy it because they've seen that Baron Spirit colour scheme. That's a German aircraft, and you have got to choose before you start building which version you're going to do. Are you going to do an RAF version, or are you going to do a German version? Because stage 46 Meteor. Now let me just have a think. Meteor UK version. It doesn't say that on here, it says it in back. 47 Taurus German, and 48 is attaching. So 47 is putting it together, 48 is adding your fins. 49 Sidewinder, I do believe, is both. Storm Shadow is UK version, because, in fact, let's not skip ahead. 51, so 50 is Storm Shadow, 51 is finishing it off. 52 is GBU 24Bs. GBU 24Bs. UK version. And then, I mean, just look at this here. So 53, that's your German configuration. Now, you've got all sorts on there. Iris T, let's start at top. Iris T's, Sidewinders, I don't know, AIM 120Bs, Taurus, all sorts of stuff. There's a multitude of pylons on this bird, and then underneath 54 alternative RAF configuration, AIM 132 ASRAMs and Meteors and Taurus, I do believe. So it can carry a fair old whack, and again, if you think about it, you know, to have it on ground, fair enough, but to have it in flight, banking, so that you can see top and bottom, for me, that's what I can see in my head before I start building. So I'm not, well, I am sure it's going to be 41 Squadron. 55 is the decals. Now, Eurofighter Typhoon 30 plus 25 Baron Spirit 1959 to 2019. It looks absolutely epic. It really, really does. But I'm not going to do it. Stage 56 is the top decals, and again, I'll get them out in a minute. And 57 is belly. But they look absolutely enormous. 58 is all your not pods, it's your fuel tanks, and again there's decals for fuel tanks. I mean, I'm gonna hold it up. All this is for wing, and you know, it looks absolutely lush as anything. There's the Baron there with some kind of triplane behind him, and a 60, a 60, and I mean, bloody hell, it does look. Let's start over here. I mean, look at that. It looks absolutely red hot, doesn't it? It does. It looks red hot. Going through sprues. So, like I said, I have had to label my sprues up. So, Sprue C. So, I'm used to tornadoes, okay, as you know, and what I look for there is flash and ejector pins. Let's see how we get on. So Sprue C, we've got spine on back at aircraft and air brake and electronics housing for back at cockpit. Nice detail on inside of the air brake, but no flash, which is really good. Wow, no flash that's going to cause me headache anyway. B. Sprue B, ta-da, that is undercarriage, seats, pods, landing gear, seats, refueling probe, struts, instrument panel. Now that instrument panel, yeah, it looks... Come on, Mark, we want an answer. What does mean? It doesn't look cracking. It doesn't look cracking. It don't. But with canopy down, you'll not see it anyway. Sprue F Taurus. Again, that's for your German version. And again, it will be a shame, I suppose, in some respects, not to build them. I might build these, you know. In fact, if I don't build them, I will label them up. What the kit is, what they're off, and what the scale is, etc., etc. Because, you know, you never know, dear, that they might come in handy in future. Sprue G, that must be, that's the Storm Shadow. And again, I mean, you can see you've got your noses and your tails. Look at tails on this side, and side at body. You've got GBUs as well in a multitude of parts. Pre-drilled holes for rest at fins that are going to go on. Sprue gates aren't too bad. They'll snip off okay. Flash is minimal. It's not quite zero. Not to worry about. Not to worry about. There's no sinkholes in it either. Sprue I is meteor missiles, AIM-9 sidewinders, and fuel tanks. And again, you've got to think on about which one that you're going to build, because different versions have different armament on the fuel tanks. Some nice detail in there, all those sort of circles that you get on fuel tanks with little rivet detail around. But I have just seen that. Let me just have a look, and you can see just here, look, little bit of flash. So just being careful with that, I suppose. Sprue H. So that huge part there, you don't need me to tell you what it is. As far as sinkholes are concerned and flash on inside, it's minimal. It's that light grey plastic, and it feels pretty tough. Wings, there's some, yeah, not brilliant. I will offer it up, and I'll put my hand behind it. Down at bottom at wing there where slit is, that you can see, it's not as sharp, it's not as crisp as what I would hoped that it would be. You've got your cans and your wheels. Wheels look really plain as anything, to be absolutely honest. Undercarriage doors, and then you've got your exhaust cans. So you've got two. You've got that one there, look, which is burn, and then you've got that one, where's my finger, that one, which is open nozzle. Okay, I suppose at least it's an option. What would I do now then? I'll have to go burn, won't I? And then the main fuselage sprue, which is sprue A, you've got cockpit, single seat, nose cone, you've got some bits there for main undercarriage housing, you've got your intakes, which are nice and smooth. There's no ejector pins in those. I need to offer that up. Where are you? You are here and here. Okay, so there's no ejector pin marks in there. As far as other area that you've got to watch out for on kits that come into two halves is this part here for ejector pins and shrouds that are married, to stop that marriage of those two. But other than that, it actually looks okay. Looks okay, don't mean it's going to go together okay, does it? We've been there in the past. What time am I on? 22 minutes. Thanks for staying with me. And then excuse me, and then your clear part, which I always leave in bag until I mask it up, and even then when I mask it up I still stick it back in bag, just to protect it, like you do. But I want to see, I know that there's a seam on this kit, and I want to see how bad it is down the canopy, and it is raucous. It's absolutely incredible. There's a seam line on that canopy. Now then, in fact, I'll take my hand away, look, and I'll put it against my blue work t-shirt. I'm going to set off for work in a minute, and you can see it, it's as plain as day. Yeah, that's like unbelievable. As far as masking it off is concerned, that'll be fine. You know, there's no little intricate cutouts to do, but I'm going to have to talk to Rob in Canada about getting rid of that seam, because it looks a nightmare. That's what I'm doing now, before I move on to Tornado. And then I've got a Lancaster coming, a 1 in 48. Whose is that? Tamiya 1 in 48 Lancaster. I've got that coming up as well, hopefully next couple of weeks. We'll have to wait and see, won't we, Ev? Right, alright, so that's what I'm building. I shall post on my usuals. I'm on Facebook and Instagram, and you can see how I'm sort of progressing on there. I've still got loads of work to do. I've still got to research everything before I crack on. I've got to order the barley grey paint, and you know, just sort of make sure that I'm crossing the T's and dotting the I's before I make a start. Okay, that's it. Eurofighter Typhoon 41 Squadron, pardon me. Let's see how she comes, eh? Alright, stay safe, take care, catch you next time.